This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have the code of a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you never stick to you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hi, folks. I'm MJ. I host the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, where we take old belief patterns and we flip them into the most conscious, positive ways that we can go to have balance, peace, and harmony in our life. So what are you doing with those old belief patterns and the old belief systems that you really don't believe in anymore, but you're told to do it? Well, we're going to flip them right here on the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, right here on our beautiful mbradio.us. Oh my God, it's a hot one today. Joel, you hear me? You hear me, Joel? It's a hot one today. Woo! Woo! I almost feel like Fabian there. It's a hot one. We have special guests today that is coming in from Miami where it is hot, hot, hot. And she's even hotter. She gets her hands on you, that little Krabby Patty. She is something very special to my heart, to my soul. I attribute my COVID recovery to her. What? I thought this was massage. It is more than that with this lady. So today is going to be a fun day for me because I just love my guest today. And I had to wait a month and a half just to have her on. So you all listen up because I love her. Anyhow, welcome to May, what is it, the 19th? Wow, May's flying by. And we have so much rain and our beautiful flowers up here in the north are out. Our grass is overgrowing with all the nitrate in our soils. And things around the world are really getting tight. I cannot wait for Beyond the Headlines tonight. I'll be back at 7 o'clock with Terry and H, who is in the background. Everybody, I want you to give healing rays to our H, our nightmare, because he's been going through a throat nightmare all week. So we want to major energy for those, as he says, when I can feel my tonsils in my mouth. World's crazy today. Who knew? Who would have thunk? Anyway, so welcome to the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. I am MJ, and behind my scenes is a beautiful Joel Hunt, who is responsible for this beautiful station that we are on, mbradio.us, where the veterans always get to have a voice, and we get to have rehabilitation and revocation on this program. So let's get moving. How did everybody get through? Did you think about the family promise? Did you think about the family feud from last week? Have we started to put stuff together now and started to actually vibrate in a different way as this energy of the full moon passes us? Are we thinking more clear? Are we able to, get within our groove with all this exciting change around the world? Things are happening at a rapid speed, and it's upsetting. Even the world in itself is cracking in half. But if you feel stressed, if you feel anxiety, if you feel like you are depressed, or you feel like you're getting weighted down, what can I say? Massage is your friend, right? Massage is going to help alleviate a lot of these emotional baggage. And if you have a good massage therapist, woo, she will pull that crap right out and she'll make you talk about it. So sometimes having alternative medicines into the formal settings is a big help. What do you think, H? I guess
I'm speechless.
Okay. So H, have you ever had a massage? I mean, a real one, not one of those, $5 make you holler massages. I'm not talking that.
Yes, believe it or not, I had to do the whole massage thing when I went to Snowmastering and skiing thing, and I'm just not very good at the massages because I can't really relax. I'm like a lot of Army guys. I can't really the massages don't work well for me because I'm kind of like that person when you go down on the foot, and you massage, and I get a little ticklish.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the thing. I'm used to having like all kinds of situations.
Who's that voice? Did we introduce that voice yet? Mute
Okay.
her mic. She's not to be coming on yet. Anywho.
Oh, sorry.
I got a new voice change.
I wanted to address that.
Okay, so I think Becca wants to come on. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We're going to have a big old interview, awakening for her for interview of the week. And then Becca's going to be able to comment on her ticklish feet fetish that she...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Let's go to break so we can bring Becca on. We'll be right back.
Well, that's already fun.
Joel.
I'm trying to get to it. Hold on.
Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Where have you gone? Who took them from us? Who stole them from us? Sacred flowers. Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Sacred flowers, sacred light to our lives. You are missing your miss. Sacred flowers.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
So, okay. Now, besides wanting to quack that duck in the head, Joel. You saw me punch him. I know you did. Hello, quack. I'm telling you, this grammar's not right there. You can call me a quack. Now I'm going to bring on a quack. She has her bachelor's in psychology. She has her license in massage therapy. So we're going to bring up Miss Rebecca Gutierrez. Hold on, folks. Here she comes.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Here we go. Oh, that's Joel. There he is. There's Joel in his beautiful weave. Good morning, Becca. How's Miami?
Buenos dias. How's everybody doing?
Well, that's about right from Miami. We're doing buenas. So we are doing awesome. I love your excitement. So yes, Joel has a toe fetish.
What?
In that massage. He can't lay still.
I wouldn't say toe fetish. I would just say I'm just a little ticklish. That's all.
And I was trying to interrupt to address that.
Yes, go ahead. You interrupt.
Well, it could be arbitrary. It could be anything, right? That's not allowing you and blocking you from getting out of your own way. And that's just something the root of you is saying, wait a minute, do I really want to make this change? You know, so a lot of people are up in their heads, and when they're kind of like forced to be silent for a little while, they have all this stuff that comes up in their head, like the tabs in their head. You become aware that you have a lot of things that you haven't closed or shut down or processed. So that's what's actually happening sometimes with people, that that's the anxiety they're feeling, is having to shut down all those tabs. So that's where I come in to facilitate and help them out with that, so that way they can perhaps even enjoy the process, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go, Joe. Open up those roots, baby. Let go.
Right. So I might walk someone through in the beginning of a session and say something like, we're going to, as these things come up that you're thinking about, you're going to pretend like symbolically that you have a basket next to you, and you're going to throw the things in the basket. When you're done with the session today, you can always pick the basket of all those things back up. But right now we're going to focus on something, and we're just going to focus on your breath. So it would be like already guiding, you know, the healing journey from there.
Wow.
Right.
Such a way, and a perspective of how to get around people's calamities when they're on the table. So we kind of jumped in, but Rebecca, where are you from? Who are you?
Well, I guess you could say I'm from Miami, but that doesn't mean much, does it? Right? Like that doesn't give you like a good picture. But to give you a little background, I'm the daughter of immigrant parents that came from Cuba. So I'm first generation American. So that would be like a better description of my background a little bit,
Yeah.
to recognize my ancestors and my ancestry a little bit, because Miami is really a fusion. So that's also very limiting because the individuals and the amount of people you come across with, especially here, is almost ridiculous. Like, so there's good and bad here, but that's one of the very cool things about here is that you get a lot of exposure to all kinds of like ethnic backgrounds and culture, really, if you think of it that way.
Growing up in Miami, you went through the school systems there, the high schools.
Yeah, well, I went to public schools until the high schools, and then my parents were like, "No, this is too gangster here. We're gonna pull her out and and put her into private school." And then I met like more, crazier people there. But hey, you know what I mean? I guess my parents tried. They tried. Mama tried, right?
So did you find your path then? How did you become from now going into a private? I think you once said it was a Christian school or a Catholic school.
It's a Catholic. It was yeah, it's still there. It's St. Brendan.
We don't have to say, but did you develop like what path did you? 11th and 12th grade, you get started to what path you wanted to go into. Was massage that path at first?
No, I was already interested in a lot of things that other people my age weren't really interested in, I think. But yeah, I was already interested in my spirituality, and I was looking already to do things with their more spiritual side at my school. They had retreats and they had kind of mentorship and stuff like that. But it was very a cliquey type of, situation. So it's like, unless you were friends with people, it wasn't like, so I found it more on my own at that point, but it continued after that, of course.
But you went to college right after high school?
Yeah, I did. I went and I went for a degree in psychology, and I suppose I was trying to understand myself and my life and the people around me,
Now, I have a question for you. When people go into psychology, there is a rumor, like even when I was in college and I had to take, Psych 101 and Psych 201, like we had to take those as electives. But when we were there, they were like, there are some of you who will continue the course of psychology due to just trying to help, like you just said, figure out yourself. Do you think that's a common brand for a lot of people who go into that field?
Yeah, I think that's why I mentioned it, because I'm confirming that I believe that to be true based on some of the professors I had there.
And you just never know about those professors anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you went into psychology. So and you left college, and then you got a job after?
I started working in social services for the state. And after the state, I started working with the University of Miami doing similar casework for, first it was people who were disadvantaged and needed assistance, government assistance. And then after that, it was for children with special needs. Yeah.
Wow. So what took you? Because I know that I had my own Catholic experiences to raise a vibration. And now you said that you went from there, but you were truly into the spiritual realm, even in the schooling, right? So at that point, what happened after you got into working in the psychology field?
Well, I didn't realize how empathic I was. And I started to, just have to deal with my own dis-ease.
Yeah.
And that led me on a whole different path. Like the stress of work and what I was absorbing at work and not really understanding. And I hadn't tapped back into my higher self yet. So I was like, what am I going to do now? So I kept looking for ways to help myself. And I quickly found out that I needed to go further than just what traditional medicine that I had been exposed to was going to do. Like if I have strep throat, like right now, what's going on, my mom would have taken me straight to my doctor and dealt with that, and that's fine. But there was deeper issues, and I didn't know how to access or heal them at that point.
Wow.
But that started a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I can
started a
see that.
journey.
I can
Yeah.
see, just in my own developments of big pharma, how I had to go through my life. I can definitely understand that interpretation within the mindset. So did so you left from when you left the psychology field, and it was it DCF or just, is that what it
Yeah,
was?
it was DCF
Yeah. So
and
you
then University of Miami.
yeah. So you left this to pursue. Did you, when you were there, were you already pursuing Hyoka? Were you already pursuing the spiritual of your shaman side?
That's so funny you asked. When I met one of my, first shaman mentors, I looked back at some photos from my high school time and joking around with my friends, I was dressed exactly in Heyoka garb. Like joking around, gesturing, doing the same posturing that they do. And I showed it to her and she like nearly hit the floor.
So it was very rooted. So without even awareness, it was very rooted. That's amazing.
Correct.
Wow. So let's talk. What is Hyoka is a part of shamanism, native culture. Can you explain it a little bit more?
It's a sacred clown, basically. And it's somebody who brings the juxtaposition to your face. Like they're so contrary that it makes you question your own beliefs. So they'll laugh in the most inappropriate times. You know, they'll bring light to situations that other people don't find funny. You know, so it's like the clown, like here to show you how ridiculous kind of like your beliefs are.
So you're a twister. You're kind of like me, like a flipper, but I'll call you the twister. I'll call me the flipper. How about that?
Yeah, they're said to ride into battle on a horse backwards with a broken sword, knowing that their faith is what's going to save them.
Amen. Yes. Okay.
I hope.
Aho. So then your focus of study really turned. Was there a point that it really turned where you
I would say that my like meeting her was one of my teachers was a huge turning point. Walking Bird, Denise Cradle. She goes by many names, right?
passed?
What's that?
Is that the one who has passed now?
Yeah, she passed. She crossed over. Yeah.
Oh, she's here in faith. We all know that.
Well, I feel like she's here right now.
Yes.
This morning when I was getting ready, she was there.
Yeah, I can.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely an energy, and definitely an energy. I can feel it. So I'm like, I'll keep it straight. I promise. So you went from. So now this. So where's that stepping? I'm trying to figure out where's that stepping stone where you just went all hands into massage therapy, into aesthetics, into cultivating all the practices to be who you are today. How did that jump occur?
It was pretty. I had a few experiences, quite a few, but I think there was one that really like cemented it, and it was a dream that I had that was I really don't feel like it was a dream. It was more of an activation, or more of a let's get this. Like I was having a dream, and it was very obvious to me after that dream that I needed to just, I couldn't continue on my same path. I needed to go into being more hands-on and more one-on-one with people, um, and get out of what I was doing, because I was going to have a better, joy of life if I was following my path.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I understand that. I know there's some people who probably have never experienced awakening, or and that's a really hard thing to explain, because
I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know it at the time, but I was meeting my spirit guides, some of them in the dream.
oh yeah, yes. So that's amazing. So we have to take a break. So we are here on mbradio.us. We are here with Reverend Rebecca Gutierrez, who is also her BA in psychology. She also has her LMT, amongst so many other spiritual certs. And but anyway, we're right here on MB Radio, where the veterans always have a voice. We're going to go and we're going to play Jesse Muse with Because You Love, and we'll be right back right after this.
I wouldn't be here if not for your faith, if not for your love, if not for your saving grace. I'd be a loner, forgotten and small, climbing a mountain that's too big and too tall. But because you love me, because you care, I can do anything, anytime, anyhow, anywhere. Because you love me, because you're there, I am unstoppable, undeterred. I have heard an answered prayer. Because you love me, I couldn't stand here if not for your strength, if not for your hope. I may have lost my way, and I would just wander in search of my place, caught up in the race. I'd be lost in time and space, but because 'cause you love me.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Ah, man, oh man. That song, every time I hear it, thank you, Terry. I I forgot to do the Blue Mountain people, but Blue Mountain people, I promise when I come back, I will go ahead on your time frame and I will highlight you as well. But those words, it's more of for me, those lyrics just inspired by love. And it takes love in order to heal ourselves, loving ourselves. So that song means the world to me in my reverendship and in my spirituality. That is amazing. So we're here with Miss Reverend Rebecca Gutierrez. And so we were talking about how she was switching now over. So we went through, and she's now into the Hyoka. She is cultivating her own divine ordinance and her levels of energy escalating to higher visions. So where did the massage, now how did the massage, like when did that come into play?
That also, when I was in high school, I got a book from a neighbor that had like a library of books. And I feel like I read that book in one day. And, you know, it went back to the origins of massage, and it had the hieroglyphs in Egypt, and it depicted people working on each other. And I didn't know it at the time, but that was part of the inheritance and lineage and information that was coming through for me. But yeah, I was absorbed by it, and I went and I found something at the community college, and I made all my friends. I made my brother, two of my friends at the time, and from high school, and someone else. Like all took the class along with me when I was in high school.
Wow.
And it was something that I was meant to do.
Huh. So you never had a fetish touching people? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I have a little fetish with that.
Well, I think that whatever situation that I was being forced to look at within myself, I just had that gift within me somehow, and it needed an expression or an outlet.
Yeah.
Right.
That, yeah. Okay. So when did so I'm trying to figure out, when were you hands-on all instead of doing psychology? But you use psychology practices. It's amazing. Folks out there, I'm just going to give you a little realm of Miss Becca, how I see her, and then she can break it down. When I have an appointment, the first time I ever saw Becca, it was in my holistical shop down in Miami. And this lady walks in, and I just was like in awe of her energy. I just like, it's one of those beacons of light of people where you don't know them, but you just want to hold on and squeeze them. And that's how I felt about Becca. And then she was offering me to experience basically her practice of how she ornates essential oils and her beautiful aromas that she does with the incense or the sticks. And then she incorporates sounds and drummings, and she incorporates those into basic massage, and she feels that anything is there. The only thing I don't like is cupping, and it's not her. I just don't like cupping. I've tried it. I don't like it. So we don't do it and when I go to see Becca. When I was there as a healer, the best phrase I could have ever used was heal the healer, because the energy, I get absorbed doing Reiki spiritual surgeries and Reikis on other people's and pulling a rewire from them. That energy sometimes lingers. And sometimes the weight of that energy gets trapped within my body before I could use my elimination centers to open. So I remember coming out of our faux Shirin-yaku room, and my hair was like, I think it was like up like this. And Miss Diana, another beautiful master of mine, she happened to be sitting right outside the door. And I come out and I'm like, I don't know what for damn journey I was just on. I go, but that rocket ship took me all the way out to freaking Mars and back. And I was like, you need to go in there. I go, just go in, let's go in there. And I'm like, and experience these magic hands. It is just an incredible feeling. Now, I have to also say that I'm going to admit it. I'm a massage whore, and I've always been. Being athletic, I always had massages. I
think you're a massage snob.
Hey, I'm not. Oh, hi, Tony. Good morning. Oh my gosh. Good morning, Jose. Good morning, Zia. Good morning, everybody. So yeah. So I'm not gonna say a snob, but I've had massages throughout the world because I traveled so much. And so I got to be able to stop that myth, Reverend. But I got to be able to experience it because my body demanded every week I had a massage. No matter where I was, I would find somebody to push that energy out because that's what I needed. So me moving up here, you have no idea how many times I have had to try to kidnap my friend. And I'll say it. You can arrest me if she ever.
I'm coming. Hold the horses.
No, I know you're coming in July, and trust me, Ozzy and I are so excited because he's crying. He has his energy and his backs are it's a little a mess. But anyway, it was the journey. It's almost like she got into my head, and I was like taking me somewhere. Talk about psychology. She got me to a point now to help me relax. I indulge in my own way of relaxing my own body. So as far as Becca's concerned, it's okay for her if you need to have that practice to relax the body. Because when you do relax on a table, have you ever had the masseuse when you're up and they don't finish because they're watching that damn clock and they know there's energy trapped? That's not Becca. Becca will not, she's like, we're going to get this out one way or another. So if you relax, it comes out that much easier. It comes out that much better so that she can manipulate. That's how I felt, like she was manipulating the energy to do what she wanted it to do, which meant get out. Not only get out, you get the hell out. Right? And right after that hit COVID. Now, if everybody knows me, I'm not going to claim it anymore, auto and neuroimmune.
That's where we really connected during that time. Yeah.
And Becca, God love this woman. She didn't care. She's like, what a warrior. She should be. She's probably a Knight Templar or a shaman warrior somehow, somewhere, because it didn't, to her, that COVID, it's all right. It was all right. She told me, get through as long as you can. And Becca, I think it was like almost every day you worked on me. It just seemed like every time I opened up my eyes, there was Becca trying to push this energy out and doing she dropped off baths. I mean, she's a crab. Her Horus sign is a crab and she loves her water. So she bathes all the time. And she brought me this beautiful in bags, and she lined all these bags up for me to bathe in them. Now, the tricky part was I didn't have a tub in my house. So what I had to do
you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
I couldn't walk. I was completely from my chest down. Just the virus overtook my central nervous system and my brain. And from my chest down, I was just stuck. So I decided I was going to use, because I didn't have a tub, I was going to use her
concoction.
Well, I was going to tell alchemy. So I was using her alchemy to paste it. And I started pasting it on my lymphatic areas because I didn't have a tub. So I figured if I could paste it on my lymphatic areas, that it would sink in, it would absorb quicker. And man, I felt so good when I would do this. So Becca, I took a lot of time there, but I wanted everybody to explain how detrimental it was without you. Like, I don't think I could have healed as quick as I did. And for that matter, now I want you to explain why it was so different.
Well, because every person is unique. And with your history and your medical history and everything from the military, there was a lot of, you have a lot of medical history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when so right, so when there's a lot of that, it could mean a lot of different things, but it was not your average case at all, or it still isn't, right?
I'm getting better.
So I think because of what you were dealing with and what you had already healed from, and it re-triggered.
Yeah.
So so there was compounded issues, right?
Yeah. No, there was a lot of triggers, but even when I was healthy at the store, it was a wow. It truly was a revelation. And what I noticed about Becca is, like, you can make it a massage appointment and you go in, you strip down, you get on the bed, and then you have a massage. Some people barely talk to their therapist, but Becca, no. Becca, I really believe, Becca, you use that psychology to pinpoint like what's going on. And she always takes that first half hour, 45 minutes, like a counselor. How's it going? And that's all she says. And because of her comfort, her hyoka ripping, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like a duck's ass. Go, put that on the thing there, Joel, that duck.
Well, I'll often get like, okay, even when I'm having a quiet, like the sessions itself are usually quiet, but when people are suddenly kind of like being exposed to themselves, you know what I mean? Like the stuff that they're revealing is new to them. Like, oh, I didn't know this was here. Oh, I didn't know this. It's like it's going on in your body, right? But you don't even know what's going on. And then sometimes when all it takes is for someone to kind of like highlight it for you. And that's sometimes what the touch will do, especially with a skilled therapist that could lead you to where you're having these little naughties, little energy knots in your body,
Yeah. So, are you intuitively guided to them? Do you feel them when you're on the table, you can feel those knots, or are you intuitively? Because I know that
there's a butterfly going around, by the way.
I know.
But I wanted to say, this is interesting, right? Because people have wanted me to explain, right? So maybe I could use an analogy that will help. Since you're a fisherwoman, right?
Okay.
So that question, right? Like when you're gonna go catch fish,
right?
How do you know where they are? How do you know how to do it? And then, right, when you have a fish,
because I use the gods.
Everything you use
calling Calypso.
Right, you use all of your knowledge and history and intuition, and that's what I do. And then when I actually feel it, it's like I've caught a fish on the line. And I know, and then based on how it feels, I know if it's a marlin, I know if it's a whale, I know what's going on in there. And then I start the fight. And you don't even know that it's a fight, but I'm in there with you,
No, I feel you.
Trying to pull it out, right? So it's like a tension on the line that I feel. And I'm like, okay, let's get...
I'm going to yank it whether you like it or not. I'm yanking.
Right.
My family and friends who have you, they're like, Becca, stop with the toes. And you're like, but that's where it's happening. I got to...
I bet you anything Joel has some toes.
Joel, what's with those toes, man?
Hey. Don't make fun of my toes. I'm trying to sell them on the internet. Feet picture. Trying to make that money, yo.
I've thought about that. We need to put like a live camera.
He's got special toes, obviously. The toes.
We can all get rich, you know, from Joel's toes.
I don't know. Maybe I should take Becca out when I go to Denver so she can see Joe's toes.
Uh-oh.
When silence happens on a laugh, there's some serious root issues going on there.
Yeah, he's a little tap dancer. He needs his toes worked on.
This beautiful weave. I bet if you just put a tutu on him, man. And on his head.
I wore a tutu in a high school drama play.
Oh, see? I knew
yeah, so I know exactly what a tutu is.
Right? He probably had toe shoes on too.
You know, he's gonna surprise us in Vegas one day.
I think I had combat boots on, actually. It was a combat boots, New Orleans Magic's jersey, and a tutu. We were doing the play Fame, and I couldn't do the ballet jump, so they told me to just try it, and they made a comedy scene out of it.
A man of many talents.
He is. He's like the Hyoka man. The twist and turn and makes it a joke.
There's a lot of clowns in my tribe, let me tell you.
It's your People's Garden. There I gave a shout out to Eva for People's Garden. So, all right. So why are the toes so complicated on everybody? Is it the roots?
Yes, like in Chinese medicine and reflexology, in a lot of different branches that you look at, you see that all of your organs, your whole body is like a microcosm in your feet, your hands, and your ears of your entire body. So you can access the entire body through the feet, the hands, and the ears.
So let's get into what time is it? Do I have to take a break? What time is it? Joel, do I have to take a break here? Because if I don't, what I want to talk about is how that for people who have, take a break.
You can probably get away with going to the top of the hour, and then we'll take a break.
Okay. So when people have PTSD, Bex, since you have the psychology side, or they have TBIs, or they have eventful traumas.
Right.
Where does... I was always in my practice, I see the chakra when they're on the my table, I can see their chakra light up to the trauma or to the event or to whatever I need to work on. How do you help release that type of event energy that's trapped within somebody who has one of those events during massage?
I'm having a little bit of static. What was that again? I'm sorry.
Oh, so you know what? I tell you what. Let's go on break. We're gonna recycle. Both of us are gonna refresh, and then we'll reconvene this. So whatever you do, everybody, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to The World of Conscious Positive Thinking with MJ, with special guest Rebecca, right here on the station that's letting our veterans be heard. You're listening to MBR.
Wow.
never know. Yeah, I never know. I said that I'll never know until I walk into the light.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Well, she went right to the light, Joel. She's gone. She gone to the light.
Well, so I was wondering what was going on. Sorry about that, MJ. When she comes back on, we'll get her up. But I think she was having some internet troubles.
It's plausible. It is very plausible. Miami, when I lived down there, it was always a different issue with internets, and it doesn't matter if you have Verizon or AT&T. It just gets so loaded with, especially right now. I mean, think about what's happening. There are so many graduations, so many people in Miami celebrating, and there's a lot of colleges. So this time of the year, the phones do get staticky down there. So she'll come back. She'll come back. So what do you think? Can we tickle your toes, Joe? Can we?
No, but hey, thanks for asking. Let's hear me out. Let's say we did, and we just don't. I think that works really good. Here's Rebecca. There we go.
My phone overheated over here in the heat. I'm gonna have to change locations.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
Yeah, my phone, it turned off. I had to get a pack of popsicles to turn the phone
Let me
back
get
on.
the Fabio machine on. Here, Becca. How's this with your hair? Is it that hot, Becca? Is it that hot?
I was sitting outside, I thought we had enough time for shade, but I guess not.
Okay.
So now the phone's on top of a pack of popsicles.
Okay. Well, I just love the freezing pop. So, all right.
Thank you. We're gonna cool off in here.
Okay.
We're gonna cool off a little bit. I got too hot.
Nice.
Miami, after all.
Well, Becca, can you show some of the tools that you love to use, or is that too much?
Oh yeah, I can show you some stuff.
Yeah, since you're there.
Yes.
Tools.
Oh, tools. You like
Look at this one.
That's to beat you over the ass. No. Oh, that's her rain stick.
My rain stick. That one's like, I love to end sessions with it.
Okay, all right, okay. I totally looked at it wrong. When you said tools, I was thinking like 50 Shades of Grey kind of tools. But this is understandable. Okay, I get it now.
Bop, 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 bop. That's for you. This is one that I did with an ancient board that I made this rattle.
Nice. You built that?
Yes.
Very nice. I found my turtle rattle I got from the Canadian Indian. I was so...
Here's another rattle.
Oh, I love the rattles.
Oh,
so how does sound? Tell us about the sound. You're showing us a lot of sound things. So
yes.
How is sound therapeutic?
I guess it's so many different things, but it can shake up energies off you. I made this drum on 11/11/11 with Denise, who I was talking to you about.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Tap that. I want to hear it.
Let me grab.
I missed it.
let me grab my. Oh wait, can you guys see me still?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I did something funny.
Oh. I see the top of your head. There you go.
Let's see. I'm trying to make it happen for you.
Nice. And that's real skin, huh? You stretched it.
This is elk hide.
Nice.
It takes quite a bit of work to stretch that out.
Nice, Bex.
You wet the hides, and we had soaked them in crystals and did ceremony to bring it to life.
Wow. How long did it take you to make that?
It was kind of all hours in the wee hours of the night pooling, but you have to soak it for many hours first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they say that drumming is helps balance the rhythmia of the heart. Is that what you use it with?
I use also like your brain, the both sides of your brain. It will help, just scientifically lull it to sleep. Like when you cradle a baby and you rock them to sleep, it kind of rocks the two hemispheres of your brain into a alpha state frequency.
Nice. Nice. So, like I said, you incorporate so much. So I was going to say, people, if you, and here's the other thing, Becca, and I know how you feel, which is the more that as a healer, the more that we can give, the more abundance comes back. Is that why you don't watch the clock? Like when Ozzy jokes, he's like, I said, I go into Becca's for a massage. He goes 4-hour tour. I go, well, that's not fair. It takes me a half hour just to get there.
I do what I can, but oftentimes, people are just coming in with so much that they need so much that I'm trying to break it down into like workable increments. Like when you're trying to pay off a huge loan, like like if you don't make some big club sums, you're never gonna pay that loan off. Like so I'm trying to give you the energetic uplift enough to leave you on your own devices for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much when you recommend, like you just made that, you have so much that you just started or you came in with, how does your recommendations, how frequently you go? Like I tell people, I chose my recommendation because of how much I was dealing with people's energy. I needed that once a week type of thing. So for you, what's a recommendation on just an average person?
An average person, a monthly session would be great for maintenance. But you may not even need that much if you're already like really doing a lot of healthy habits to take care of yourself. You have the support system that you need, and you're actually doing what's helping you already.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can extend the time further out, but it's enjoyable as well. So it's not like something like, oh, I have to go do my session. You feel so much better. You know what I mean?
No, I love it.
I don't know, how often do you want to feel better?
Well, every day of my life.
Exactly.
But the thing of it is I could cut like we were talking about when the first time I had COVID, and it was such a scaring thing. Every time you came, it was you worked a different area, you pulled a different area. So it was like, people often said you can't cure a virus with massage. I said, I don't know if I'm curing a virus as much as I'm expoling the virus. Now, how do you feel about that comment?
I would happen to agree because there's so many layers. We arbitrarily call disease different names, but it's all the same, energy at the end. Like it has the same root. Like it's something dense that you want to elevate and you want to get out of your body so that you're not dealing with that life lesson or that energy, unprocessed emotional baggage.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go back to the PTSD guys then, because these are ones that I love to help assist in their healing journey. So massage for somebody with PTSD, and I know how you get into the head. I mean, just because I understand energy and frequency value and how you, I don't want to use the word manipulate. I want to use the word assist to heal in reciprocity or flipping patterns. And that is such a beautiful divine gift that I don't think a lot of people have. And with that energy, can you assist with those types of energies for them where they get stuck?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, through my own, I also have that label of post traumatic stress disorder. So, as a matter of fact, that's why I had to use the same principles, everything that I use with you guys on myself. That's why I know I'm my own Frankenstein.
Well, you're a beautiful Frankenstein.
Thank you. So
Abby Frankenstein.
yeah, so I know it works because I've done it, right? So that's what I'm like trying to give the floor plan. As a matter of fact, for years, I've been wanting to work with veterans because it's the same pattern.
Right. Yeah, it is. Well, I did a show about frequencies of why they take the young, the 18 to the 25, because it gives them courage, angry, and pride. And that is the aesthetic of the frontal lobe during those times. And I go, so you can see why you have the courage, you have your pride for your country, but you also have the anger. So how do we release in therapies with that anger? Is that something you talk prior to? What happens if somebody within a session? I know that when I used to hold my Reiki PTSD circles for my vets, like if somebody got enraged and red, we were there to help comfort, support. But I had a mess of people to help protect, because sometimes it can get high energy, and they don't even realize it because they saw red. So how do you work with that, Becca? How, give us some examples, especially as a healer. I would love to hear how maybe I can utilize different skills in order so that when I am pushing and I'm trying to do what I do, maybe there's something you can assist and tell me, you might want to try this as a psychologist.
Well, one of the tools that I try to teach like everybody across the board, if anyone wants to start working with it, is their breath.
Yeah.
So starting them on some kind of consciousness about their breath, or what is that breath work? Why do we do that? How is that going to help you? It's free. You know what I mean? So, and we have to do it anyway. So it's just something that helps you tune in so that when the situation does arise, it's like you've already like laid down the foundation so you can find your ground again, like when you do fly off and you do experience a trigger, right?
Right. Right.
So we need to give people tools when they have a trigger, or not just when they have a trigger, but to use it all the time so that way they're triggered less often.
So is there different, like I know that every chakra has a different breath pattern. Is there one particular breath pattern work for them, or is it just a very general, breathe in through your nose and exhale as much as you can through your mouth? Is there counts? Is there?
I think if anyone has willingness, then the type that's suited for them will come. But I do try to teach people Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath breathing, because that helps to clear everything out.
Can you give us an example in case somebody doesn't understand what that is?
Right. It looks funny.
It doesn't, I know, but you should have seen Kimmy's. She did a whole show on breath work on different things, like for different ailments. And she did the tiger. There you
So
go.
basically you would close one side and you would do it with a mudra. So you'll learn that it's like a hand position, hand gesture. So that's not even really important. The important thing is you have to follow a certain pattern so your brain really shuts down, because you're having to follow instructions. So you're not really, if you are thinking about other things, you'll soon realize, and then you'll have to keep going and following the pattern. So you will close one side and you breathe and you imagine that the breath shoots up down the whole spinal column and travels to clear that area. And then
Right.
you'll switch to the other side and release all of that energy that was stuck there. You understand?
Right.
So
Right.
then, you would breathe back in and do the same thing on that side. So it would be like a switching that you do in between the inhale and exhale on one side and switch over. We can send videos to anyone who's interested in learning that, because there's YouTubes on that. A lot of yogis practice with this because this is a controlled breath technique, is what it means. Yeah.
So breathing ultimately, like I know that when I get hurt, I start breathing. I start breathing into the pain. I start breathing into, it helps increase dopamine levels when we do breath work because it takes care of those pain. It helps remove those pains. Hence Lamaze class, they're talking your breath work. And a lot of people who, I know there's a lot of people who poo-pooed Lamaze. But it is truly about your breath. How you breathe is going to be how much incredible pain can be dismissed.
It's really an anchor for your brain. So anything that you can breathe through and get through, you can transmute it. So it's a practice.
It is a practice. So when you have people on massage and you know that there's trauma or there's massive energy, do you ask them to do breath work?
I do. I suggest it and I see how receptive people are because there's some people who don't even want to talk about anything and that's also fine, you know. But if they want to go deeper and pick my brain, that's an opportunity for them, I feel.
Now, what do you and I've never heard of this before, but when I was talking with a person for the last week, they were saying how, they find massages very painful. So they know that their body needs it. So they'll take a Tylenol before they go. And I started laughing. I go, oh my God, that would be something I did with my braces. So every time I tighten my braces, I would take a Tylenol prior and a Tylenol after. I go, but because as you say, I'm a snob. So I kind of went, that's I go, if you are in that much pain, I go, that means that energy didn't come out, or that means that's a strong energy within that muscle. Is that right, Becca? Did I tell him right?
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to communicate with the therapist and they're receptive so that they can work with you. And even if something's uncomfortable, it's something that can be gotten through so that you can release this tension. Because a lot of people you touch, they're like a brick because they have so much built up that their muscles are so tense, like a horse,
Is that mainly with the stress or anxieties that you see those people more like that? Or
there's also some genetic components too that some people, people are just built very like an ox, they're just very high tone muscle. But in either case, no matter where it stems from, once that's released, it feels so much better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Well, so basically, guys out there, ladies too, PTSD, as she said, I always teach them, find your list, of diversion triggers. As soon as you start to feel that red or that anxiety or that emotion, start changing the subject, change the parameter. But Becca's also letting you know start breathing. Not only changing, start breathing, start that pattern immediately that she just showed you, because that'll help diffuse that energy. Is that right?
Yeah, there's even more simple breaths than that one that you can start with, like box breath. There's so many things but the point would be just to be more aware and work with it, even if it's 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Just starting a new habit that you do.
Do you have so with our not even our vets, our first responders, anybody can have PTSD. It's just a traumatic time, and a lot of times people who are in abuse situations also have these instances, or people who it's an event that just causes us to not be able to function, to go forward. And so, or their memory can't either accept it through grievances or sorrow or parts, or it's claiming it. And when I work with mine, I always tell them, you got to find a way to relax. And for me, the biggest relaxation I have, just because I make it a relaxed situation before I even get on that table.
Yeah.
I am at peace. I come off of there and then you do Reiki on top of it. Oh my God, let's not forget the Reiki, because that's dear to my heart. So you incorporate your hands. So any Reiki master, their hands are already ready to go. They're already hot. I don't know. I felt people whose hands are cold, and then I felt a Reiki master and they're always hot. and I made that connection, I don't know, a long time ago, how hot their hands are. And so for Becca, it is, I don't even need hot stones with Bex because her hands are so hot. So she's not only incorporating all these things, she's incorporating Reiki on top of it. It's like you have to experience my friend Becca. You have you have to. I don't care if it's a one and done that you fly into Miami, but you have to try this because everybody who says that massage isn't for me, you didn't have the right person. It's kind of like always I constantly tell everybody, don't just go to a psychologist. Make sure they're metaphysically and physically balanced because there is so much depth into our souls, even our DNA of our soul, has recovering that has to heal. And that's how I feel.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. So Bex, currently, I know Equinox picked you up. How is that going?
It's a lot of fun. It's a dynamic place. What I find is that the people who are going there are already like very high energy, high achieving, high, like they're seeking that very elevated, like wellness path for themselves.
Yeah.
So, and they're stressed out because a lot of them are professionals running businesses and, living here in Miami and doing all the things, and they're trying to get that workout in. And then, they don't even know what else they need, but they know they need something else. And they come to me for recovery. Right. And then we're opening a lot of pathways for them there as well. So that's very exciting.
Just the traffic alone would stress me in Miami anymore. It's like I have a 1 o'clock appointment. I'm leaving at 10 just because of traffic. That's enough to stress any business entrepreneur out or business professional, I believe, because that is the stressful part, trying to get from a meeting to another meeting and knowing it's only like 4 miles away and it's taking you 40 minutes. It's like,
yeah. I'm also though in a neighborhood that is like known for being beautiful and peaceful, Coral Gables. So it's like, it makes it a little bit easier once you're already there. It's like, so I think that's why people like to go there, Are
you on Miracle Mile because you're such a miracle? Are you there?
Close. I'm in Merrick Park. I'm Ponce de Leon.
You go to Equinox, you have your private session. I prefer private sessions with Beck. I don't prefer her to come to me. I like going to her because her tools are there, and you don't know what's going to come up. A
lot of fun stuff.
Yeah. Bex, there's so many times I get into the adrift with you and I go to the abyss. Then the adrift goes right into the abyss.
Right. Cause like, I could travel with some of my plants and herbs and spices, like, but it's like having all of your apothecary, with you. Mm-hmm.
Amen. It is,
untamed apothecary.
Right. Little alchemy, Very nice, but the Virgin Mary loved being the homeopathic. So yes, I'm with them. I'm right there with them. My husband calls you Spider Monkey. So
that's fun.
Right. Because Becca, I know you can't kind of see this, but Becca is a whole, I'm going to be gracious and say 5 foot. I don't think.
Excuse me.
She is my beautiful pixie, and I love her. But her horoscope is the crab. She's a Cancer horoscope, and my husband tends to have a lot of back issues. So for Rebecca, it's easier to crawl up on the table and use to get in there and dig around on him. And then I realized, wait a minute, some of her functions, this little crabby wabby has Tyvedic. I go, that's what she was doing. And so I start laughing at my husband because now we're up here in the mountain. He goes, where's my crab? I really need my spider monkey crab on my back.
You have the salt, so I just need, where's that jacuzzi? I need a saltwater jacuzzi. I'm not a snob.
It's coming, Krabby Patty. I have a crick. You want to go in the crick? I'll put you in the crick with the crayfish.
That sounds fun. I'll do that.
I even
For
got
now.
leftovers over
Until
here.
you build it in the, I'll be there more when you have that jacuzzi.
Okay. I'm coming. I don't even have salt right now. My salt's still in Miami. I just have the building that I'm waiting for an electrician to wire it. So I have coldness. But anyway, that's another story. So now, like, it's funny because there's some people, like, we tell our stories, then we send them to Becca, and they're like, oh, I didn't get that. And I go, maybe you did. And now we have to shut up because I'm like, they're so expecting, and it doesn't happen because their energy didn't require it. You know what I'm? Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, it's every session will be different and unique, right?
Absolutely, it always is.
Yeah.
It always is. I'm so surprised that when she works on an area, she's like, you have a massive issue here. And I'm like, really? Well, I didn't feel that issue there. I felt it over here. And within, I don't know, maybe a day to 2 days, honest to gosh, if that doesn't just come up in a way of saying, yes, this is what she healed, or yes, this is what it was, or this is what she was pointing out. And so for me, that's amazing. That is amazing that you can do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you sure you're not a seer? I'm just saying. Listen, we got to take another break and then we'll be right back. So I don't know. Who are we going to go to? I like Dallas Alexander, to a hero. He's one of my Goldens but goodies. So maybe we'll take a break with Dallas Alexander, to be a hero. We are here on mbradio.us, where veterans always have a voice. My name is MJ. My guest.
To a hero, I say, I hope to see you again on some sunny day. And to a hero, and the love you left behind, I'll try my best to pass it on till the end of my time. And to a hero, you're gone, but I have no doubt that you have made it home. And to a hero taken way too soon, over there in the dusty country, an Afghan afternoon. To a hero and the little one you left behind, I hope he grows up with your passion, I'm sure he will with time. And to a hero, a warrior through and through, you were taken way too early, what can we do? Well, we can try to keep your spirits alive, we can try to be nice, we can not take for granted all the beautiful things in our lives. We can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. To all the heroes taken from our lives, at home or in those countries, fighting for what's right. Now we can do this for you and all your kin, and make this world a better place for your kids to grow up in. And we can try to be true, admit when we don't have a clue, and be there with the ones we love until our time is good and through. And we can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. Yeah, we can try to keep your spirits alive, and we can try to be nice. We can not take for granted all the beautiful things in our lives. We can through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. Well, to a hero, I say, I hope to see you again on some sunny day. All right, to a hero.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Becca,
Mm-hmm.
that duck causes me PTSD. Can you help me? Where's Joel? Joel, I'm telling you, that duck's calling me a quack. I can't. It's like personal. I think I need some help.
And you know the next cartoon I'm going to make is going to say, welcome back. But MJ's not a quack. I'm going to make sure to add that in there, okay?
I want to quack something. It says, welcome, quack. And I go, he goes, no, it meant like quack, like the duck. I go, babe, that doesn't say that. It calls me a quack. I go, I can't flip it. I try. I'm getting PTSD just from the duck. Calling me names. Ratchet.
Oh boy.
Becca, when you come here in July, you may have to like push that out or something. And listen, Becca will be at Mojazi Center in July. What's those things, Becky Booba?
Do we have them at the ready here?
I do. Becca, she's coming in Wednesday the 9th. She will be here the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and I believe on the 14th, she goes back home to Miami. And she will be here for the full moon ceremony. She's bringing her drum. She's bringing her cacao. Yeah. She is bringing in the shaman full moon ceremony with the fire. We are so excited, very excited. I cannot wait. So, and not only that, she's going to have her massages, which I might hog her. So I'm not a snob. I'm just know what I want. Anyhow.
Maybe we can call you an aficionado.
Ooh, I like that. Maybe I should start writing about all the massage therapists I ever had, kind of like a wine critic. Could be.
Yes.
I don't have time for that. Sorry. I
like it.
I'll just put you in my bag. You're so tiny.
I'm excited to go see you. I haven't seen you in a minute, you know.
I'm coming back down to Miami, though. I have to make a trip back down to Miami, so get ready.
When are you coming?
So anywhere between June and July, because I got to pick up the salt to put it in the cave. So yeah, we're going to do classes with Kim. I think Ozzy's coming down this time. And hey, Bex, look who I have here, by the way.
Dixie Doodles?
I do. Your little girl she finally started getting some kind of food down her.
Oh, Dixie.
Yeah, here's your Becky Booba.
Oh, baby. Oh, I love her so much.
She is almost 14. July 7th, she'll be 14.
She's a baby to me always.
I know. She scared me because she didn't eat for like 3 or 4 days, and she just laid, and I was so scared. I should be scared. It's an awareness. How about that? It's an awareness that I had to. Oh, Becca. Yes, Dixie was she's a service dog, so she's
so smart.
Yeah, she got to heal a lot of beautiful people and being assistants for them. And for 14 years, she's been on that track of healing and emotional and, you know, maybe I should send her to Joel. No, Joel has a service dog. How's your dog, Joel?
He's still kicking. He keeps coming downstairs and like falling. And I'm like, dude, why do you keep coming downstairs? So we found out that that big hump or whatever on his back, you know, that made him look like Quasimodo.
Yeah.
We found out that was because of a dog food allergy, believe it or not. Like we were fixing to put him down because we thought that, you know, that was like causing them issues and stuff. And it was a food allergy.
Yeah, I tried. Here's how bad Dixie is. I tried everything in the book to get her to eat. I must have spent over $100 on everything from turkey to chicken to steak. She liked the filet mignon, but she'd only take like a bite of it. I was like, dude, I don't know what else to do you. She's never been one. My sister's dog. She's her grand dogs. They eat sweet potatoes. They eat peanut butter. They eat lettuce. They eat carrots. My nosy posy little dog just snoops at it. It's just they're not for her. She'd rather I don't know, a soy burger from Burger King. I don't know. She's
and
just
bones. She likes rawhide.
well, yeah. Well, I don't give her rawhides. I give her dehydrated venison or dehydrated chicken. I don't do the rawhide bone with her, but it looks like rawhide. But it's just dehydrated. It's like that elk skin that you got there.
Yeah.
Anywho, so let's get back to Miss Becca now that we're back. Becca, so when did you start your esthetician side?
That was right away. Like when I was in my massage training, I wanted that other license, dual license, because I was always interested in aesthetics as well, skincare, just as a whole wellness package.
So, and now you incorporate that as well into a session.
I love that. Yeah, I love doing skincare as well. So I want to make people feel good and look good too.
Yeah, well, you do. Look at me. I'm only kidding.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, darling.
So, yeah, so I always say body, mind, soul. When you go to Becca, it is not just the physical side of massage. It is body, mind, and soul because she helps incorporate. She sits and she wants to know what's going on. What is triggering you? What is, where's some of this energy coming from? And then when she gets you on the table, then she sees it. She knows where kind of it's going. She understands from a discussion that we had, especially if you want to heal yourself, you're going to be open and honest about that. And you need to be, because the more that you can convey and communicate to your therapist is the more that they can help you. They'll concentrate on those areas. So if you go and go, oh, I don't know. Well, if you don't know, that's going to be more work for your therapist to figure out, where the balance is going to be. It's going to take longer. So if you can highlight areas for her already, and with, I believe what Becca does with her counseling.
Yeah. I think the transparency is important to come in. And, if you're able to communicate with me, I can help you faster. I think
there we go.
We had a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. So,
that's going to be a great picture later, just saying.
You like that? That was the minds of thinking. That's the great minds of thinking. See how I flipped that? We needed a moment and we had to pause to think. So, yeah, that's how I'm going to flip it. Anyway, so essential oils, Becca, when did you get that degree?
That was I was a little bit already in the field, but I got exposure to it when I was in school, and I always loved working with plants ever since I was little.
Yeah.
So I really took to it, and it was kind of like one of the more expensive things, to learn on that end, especially at the time, because of the access, the amount of accessibility to good oils.
Yeah. Yeah. They are very expensive. I know I started that course and I didn't finish it, but that course was like $4,800. And
yeah, it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, most of that was having to buy the essential oils in order to make the healing concoctions, because you don't want anything with carrier. You want through, HR.
Yeah, it's the cost of doing the business, because you want to make sure you have quality medicine, the products, right?
Right. Absolutely. So how do you know? So I'm going to ask you a belief. So one of the beliefs that I was told about essential oils and this person's truth was, if there is a smell on an essential oil that does not resonate with you, and you squint your face and you're like, oh my God, that stinks. Is that where there's a problem? Or they say that if that stinks like that, then we have to figure out why we have that distaste. Is that true?
I think there's something to it, but I don't necessarily think that that would be, because I'm not really about aversion therapy or being so, there's different ways of applying the medicine, right? So sometimes it is true, like if there's something that you are smelling that you disagrees with you, there is information there for you. But I think there's also other beautiful ways of working with the oils that you can come to that later on and still get so much help from the plants and the oils and the resins and the barks and all the stuff that we use for the essential oils.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, do you believe in all these courses just elevated you into the eclecticness that you needed, or were they more for you personally?
I think I needed a lot of the structure. Like, for example, when I started working with the human chakra system, that I had, a teacher who facilitated for me. And, there's mentorship involved and there's community involved in the classes. So there's a lot of learning, really, and guidance. And some of it you don't even get right away. It's when you start putting it into the practice. Like they're just sometimes you're just presented with the information, but it's your willingness to work with the information that really elevates you more than just taking the course.
Yeah. So I know that you started with the traveling to Costa Rica's and to different parts, like you're coming up here, in order to allow people to feel your energy and to source to assist them in that healing. Are you gaining any other regions or areas that you're going to incorporate?
I am, like, because I have friends who are spreading out. So when that happens, like, yeah, I'm always willing to travel to meet new communities and people and spread the energy that I've been
How do
working
you
with all this time.
that? How, like, you must be like that big purse. You see the meme with the sound healers with the big.
I went to Costa Rica with the crystal bowls. Can you believe that?
No.
All the way, and we were in the middle of the jungle. But like one of the first nights we were there, we had ceremony, and I did the drumming and the crystal bowl, and it was out there, like in the middle of the jungle. It was so magical.
Wow.
It was like I'll never forget that. So even though it was a pain to travel with the bulls,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do about that for the future. But yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. So it like, how do you, I guess, a dowser or intuitiveness, just like in tools, you have so many different tools and that are just a major part of that experience. I'd find it hard. Like, I know that I have my own, I call it my Mary Poppins, and I don't go to people's house without my Mary Poppins bag, because, and it's a trolley. I mean, I have to, it's its own luggage, especially when I do house clearings or office clearings. I mean, you don't know what you're going to ascertain. You don't
Right.
know what's going to happen.
Right.
But okay, so I'm just thinking aloud, if anybody took notice. So in the tropics, in the forest of Costa Rica, they have great plant medicine. I mean, there are so many plants for oxygenation and shinrin-yaku, and like,
it was beautiful. And I met a shaman there too, like a medicine woman there, and I made a connection with her. I brought back some of her products. But I'm finding Costa Rica to be like almost just as expensive as Miami, which Miami is ridiculous right now.
Costa Rica has got, in fact, there's a lot of healing practices that come into Costa Rica. I'm not, I was offered to go to Costa Rica to do ayahuasca, and I refused. I felt that I wanted to do it in my own roots, and I wanted to be able, in my own,
That resonates for me too. Yeah.
in my own country, in my own, I don't, there's some things that I just don't participate. And I think it's just an individual basis.
It's like discrimination. Right.
I don't follow. Wait, what?
Like just using like discernment.
Oh yeah. Okay. Discern. But so yeah, I use my own discernment, or I asked my guides, my team, Father, Mother, God, is this a good idea? And people say you can
Yeah.
pray and ask, and there's some people go, it doesn't work, you don't get it. I go, you do. It does work. It does work
Right.
if your ego stops. Your ego and judgment is what pushes people not to have an acceleration of healing or divine vibrational or power up into the regions of God. And that's how I foresee it, or for shamans, into the lands, right? Into Pachamama. And
Yeah, every land is holy in some way, you know what I mean? Like
oh yeah,
it's you can travel to beautiful retreats and ceremonies, but you could also have them at home. Yeah.
I'm excited. Like I was talking to Angel Morelli, trying to get him, because he's really a practicing shaman in his lineage, his father and whatever. And I was trying to get him somebody, because I'm not a full-fledged shaman. It only took 2 years, but I can see, I have the clairs, and the Sheshequins are so prominent up here, these Indians, and I'm like, I'm going to bring you what you need. I'm going to bring my shamans. I'm going to bring them, because I understand that the energy is infectious, and I understand that people feel it when they come. They're like, I just feel like there's a lot of people here, and I'm like, there's a lot of energy here, and I haven't yet completely cleared my land. Because I'm trying to figure it out. I don't like clearing something I don't know. And I don't want to, I don't want anybody to be a mist of judgment or ego of my own. But it's funny, because my husband, he'll go up into the fields, and he'll go to the, up by the feeders for the birds and whatever. And, he'd be like, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot up there. He goes, I constantly want to look and look and look, like I feel like there's somebody present.
I can't wait to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an amazing thing. And like I said, you need that drum. I do have drums, but I don't have a special drum.
Okay.
For you. Because I already asked all my drums, and they said no. So you have to bring your drum. So I know
No problem.
Okay. So let's get back to the massage, Becky. So intuitiveness. So you said the intuitiveness came when you were in school. You really knew you had these beautiful divine gifts, and you realized that in school. And when did you really take focus on how they helped escalate your practice?
I had a situation, well, you know him, one of my friends that dealt with um an illness, right, that affected his digestive system. And he eventually had to get a colostomy bag for the illness, and he lives that way now. But before this, I was still in school, and he was begging me, please help me work on me. And they were just introducing me to some concepts of energy work at that time in school, Reiki and these concepts, right? So in some cases, I was taking out like the pamphlets and things and looking at them and like like practicing, because he begged me, please, I really need this. And one of the things that was happening to him was he was bleeding through the rectum. And I just realized how strong all of this was when I went home one of those days when I did that with him. And I was also starting to bleed through my rectum after treating him. Right. So I realized how deep the rabbit hole goes, you know what I mean? And that's when I started learning how to protect and harness that healing skill, that empathic healing skill.
I get it. I mean, I started practicing, I'm back practicing the Reikis and the rewires up here. And every time I do a rewire or a surgery, I open up elimination centers and push energy through elimination centers. But without a doubt, every time I do the elimination center, within hours, I'm in the restroom. I'm in the restroom, and it doesn't bother me anymore, because I know that I'm facilitating, helping to release that which no longer serves a purpose. And so I understand that so much. And I hope people out there could understand an energetic exchange healing to what we're trying to let you know. Do you still continue your studies? I know you took a couple of light therapy. It's Beyond Reiki courses with Miss Kim. Have you continued studies on other things that are up and coming on your?
Always and every day. Yeah. Yeah, always.
It's like
Always.
infectious. I always tell people it's infectious. You feel a certain level and you don't want to die back. So you always strive to stay in that higher vibration, or you try to be with the highest vibration people possible, because it just enhances your life. It enriches your life. And then when you have an eclecticness of therapies, of Western, Eastern, alternative modalities, oh my God, it's a true blessing. It's a true blessing that I have found you particularly.
Thank you.
Me
too. I feel like you've been a huge blessing for me too.
I've been to a few massage therapists, and I've had a massage therapist who did crystal massage. I have to always tell people, pay caution with crystal massage, because crystals carry and hold energy. So you really have to know that person, making sure they're cleansing those crystals, making sure they are completely removed of any other energy that they're
I
sticking.
agree with that. People don't even realize that stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
They're not aware of that.
It's the same as Reiki. There's a crystal Reiki as well. And it's the same type of thing where you really have to just be aware. That's the word, aware. Be aware of what is happening. Be aware of the energy. Be aware of how you feel when you get near people, or when you're done with an exercise or a practice. And then that's what do I call, just knowing intuitively what side you're on. Oh, there's your fan. Look at him. How do I set up an appointment? Oh, as well. No. So, if anybody wants to set up an appointment, if you scroll back to the beginning of our session when we welcomed her in, you can go on to Instagram, and if you do the @HealingMiami, you will be able to get in touch with her. There is a banner here. Let me get that banner back up. And it is Healing Miami, or on Facebook, it is a Lightworkers Toolbox, and you can find her there. You can probably also find her under Rebecca Gutierrez, but I think those two business sides will lead you directly to her. You can DM her. You can, I think one of them has an email that you can go back. So, but that is Miss Becca, how you would make an appointment with her, and how you get in touch with her. Thank you, Mr. Ozzy, for that. He's so anxious.
Yeah, he's like, get over here already.
He even said, he goes, what day does she come in? I go, the 9th. And he goes, in the morning or night? Would she be ready? I'm like, for God's sake.
We need to get the flight. Let's get the flight.
So he's super excited. And I think you'll see Miss Kim up here at the same time, because I think she would like to participate with the full moon. So yeah,
I would so love that. Yeah.
You might be a little bit of a busy girl.
I'm hoping that we all do that moon together, Oh,
we can
collaborate.
Yes, it will. It will. I love holding energy. So I love to do stuff like that. So you still in the study. Is there something that's piquing the interest of you right now, Becca, in a course or elevation? What is it that you're currently trying to balance or study to heal others?
Well, one thing that's a continuous study that I do work with is what's going on in the cosmos. Like, what's the temperature out there? What transits are happening? What moon cycle are we in? What is what is the lesson of this time, so that we can focus based on like what's going on in nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many things that I'm trying to learn. So it's hard to put it just to one thing, but yeah, there's so many things.
There is a lot. There's a lot of quantum physics that are bleeding right into our 369 light code, our spiritual practicing of Reverend of Lights. And it's like people wanted to say pahooey in the 70s and the 60s. You know, the 60s really tried to energetically with the crystals and energetically go out. Even my girl Janice, I love her, and she was trying so hard to regain those energies or those frequencies. And now it's really coming into light, because they're bringing up the turmoil between Einstein and Tesla and Dr. Reif with those frequencies. Just, I want to say it was the 15th or the 16th. I follow Noah because Noah is reacting with how far that energy of the sun, you know, pushes when they
The
have
solar flares, you know, affect us too. There's a lot, though, you know, going on.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting to watch people's dynamics and how they feel. And it's funny because I kind of put it up for H the other day. I was like, oh man, I go, there's some areas are going to hit an R4, but basically it was an R3. And I was like, don't be surprised if communications or things that the satellite, I mean, think about all the satellites, that wave just pushes those satellites like a ripple in the water. And I go, of course, you're going to have blackouts because everything is run through those satellites. And I go, so every time, and the sun right now is exploding a lot. And the only reason we know this is because we get Aurora Borealis up here. It's unheard of for us to get the Aurora Borealis. But
that's cool and
been
interesting.
Christmas, yeah. Now people in the North Dakota, Montana, all the ones in the top bridge there, Minnesota, they see them more and more. Like you don't even have to travel to Alaska or any like Finland, Iceland to see them.
That's
anymore.
interesting.
Right. Because
cool.
they're here. How fun is that? It is just massive. So let's talk about
another thing that I wanted to say was the chanting practice that I have. I'm always developing it.
So when you talk about the chanting, is that more like the malas, getting the Sanskrit chants? Is that, or is it more of a shaman chant?
More of the Sanskrit and that pantheon, the Indian, you know.
Mesothelian time frame, Mesopotamian.
Yeah, the yogic, you know, more, you know, all of those. You can use anything, of course, but there's just an energy with that. That's beautiful.
How do you feel about my energetic frequency machine, Dr. Reif? How do you feel about that as far as healing in your practice?
From my experience, it's miraculous.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It is really is. I love it. And I love when I can open up people to an awareness of it. And then once they actually do the first processing, which is like a 12-day step, then they get into being able to curate their own, like, I need this for my eyes, or I need this for my whatever, you know, I'm sick, I have cold, I have COVID, whatever it may be. And then once you have them already open, the world is like,
it's your oyster.
Right. Now, can you use practices with the Reif and the massage together to create an overall higher balance or a higher?
That definitely. I would say that, you know, if you're already doing it, like, it's even better. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't it be your work? I definitely feel like, you know, healing is like a community thing that you do together as a tribe with people. And, you know, that could mean having a whole team of healers, you know?
Right. But then that's the tribe, right? We create the tribe. We create those types because let's just face it. Even in Western medicine, you go to a primary and they're like, it's out of my league. You got to go directly to the specialty, whether it's urology, cardiology, whatever, you know, hematology, wherever those are. So this practice is basically the same, right? So you have beautiful people who are not only massage therapists and shamans, but they have their degrees in other things. And when that happens, that combination, and then you find somebody who's like, I get it, but this is, I'm going to send you to my, you know, to somebody else in my tribe because I know what their energy or their practice can assist in doing. And then it is a contribution that just reigns in such beauty. And then you're actually doing the highest work of healing for everybody because there's multiple people exerting the same type of energy and that higher frequency.
Absolutely. Yeah.
and I believe that when, like, even when I get with my people, my tribe, as Eva calls it, my people's garden, when I get down to some of my practitioners like Becca, I immediately feel a higher realm of elevation. Up here, I have to create that. I'm by myself, you know. Ozzy, even
I get
Ozzy
it.
has reins, but he doesn't. I don't know if he can rein to help tip that energetic field, which is why I'm trying to tap in so much to those sessions, because I think their energy is infectious, and I think
But you also have the advantage of all the beautiful nature around you too. So
I do have that. Yes, I have Pachamama, and it is so graceful and it's so beautiful, and I really like it. So we're almost out of time, but I do. I want to hear some of your beautiful 180 client like miracle stories, at least one or two of them.
oof.
I know there's a lot. Just we're almost, like I said, we have about 5 more minutes. So I wanted to. I used me. I mean, I did use me, and we saw full circle. You know how quick. I mean, it was.
Yeah, some things can be really dramatic. Like I had this one client that had an injury on her hand. It was her on her left hand. And this area of her hand was like 5 times the size that is, there was something in there, you know what I mean, from the injury, and it wasn't really healing well, and it was taking a long time to heal. And she came for me to do a session, but she's like, but don't touch my injury, don't touch my hand. And right away, like my team was like, okay, whatever. So, and this girl, she was like a tough, like, she had a tough warrior masculine energy, like not to be messed with. Like she rides Harleys.
Your error.
Oh, she's no joke. So I eventually came over to that side and pretended like I was doing some light, fluffy stuff. And then I just went in and did like one little movement, one gesture, one thing on that. And I ran away and went to the other side of her body. And she started yelling and by the time I was able to walk back around, make sure she wasn't gonna punch me, the 5 different, like, how big that was already went down to like almost nothing. So at first she was trying to yell at me, and she's like, but wait.
You're welcome. That's what you said. You're welcome.
Right? And it's just like I've had people just come and just tell me that they're like a different person when they leave, you know?
Oh, I always.
After one session.
Your error.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Stop having errors.
Yeah. So that is my Rife machine that's telling me that it's over, because I was running and I didn't realize that it was going to plague me on this show. So I'm
well, I'm glad Rafe is like, please use us too. Yeah, we want to be present.
I'm trying to shut it down. So
Dr. Rafe is like, I want to work with you.
Yes,
how can I make an appointment with you?
I had 6 people on it to do a train. I always make everybody do the trains because it opens them. So they goes through the somatics, the lymph, you know. And it was almost near done when I went on the show. I had, I think, like another half hour or so, and I was like, oh, I'll just let it go behind the scene. Well, no, of course, system error, because I didn't shut it off. System error. Yeah, there
Generator error.
There it is again. See? So, yeah.
Are you sure you want to exit?
Yeah. See? Sorry, folks. I do want to exit. Thanks.
Okay. I'm glad Dr. Rife had to come out and talk to us.
Yes. So that is how it speaks to us. So one more question. So we have that one, and I have two more minutes. So ailments, as far as illness, when people tell you, I know that you came to me 5 days after I had COVID, in reality, do you do that on a general? I know that we're really good friends and we mean a lot to one another, but do you do that for others if they come? Would you help and give them all that you gave me?
Yes, I think that it's been very misunderstood, and I think that we're getting to like a different understanding about that whole situation with COVID also.
Yeah, I agree.
So luckily we've reached a point where it's like people are waking up about what really is going on
around the world. I can't wait for Beyond the Headlines tonight because such shakedowns, including Mother Earth herself. I am excited for the show tonight. But this is the end of my show today. So I love you, Miss Becca.
I love you.
I cannot wait to see you again, whether it be Miami.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to meeting you people, all the people too.
If you've tried everything, if you live in the Miami area, I mean, she will come. If it'll cost you a little bit to get her there, but if you really want her, and here I always tell everybody, get a bunch
especially if you live in the Keys or near the water, I'll go.
Loves her water. Oh yeah, she's trapped. She's full You're listening to MBRadio.us. What a privilege to be here with my friends and family and Miss Becca. You're listening to the world of conscious positive thinking. So may the angels carry you all with peace, love, grace, joy, happiness, and abundance of what it is that you desire most. We love you, and we'll see you next Monday. Stay tuned.
Ciao.
But it's a Memorial weekend. Yeah, it'll be Memorial. Woo! I'll see you on Memorial Day. All right, signing out for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.